Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 17 and compare it against the iPhone 17 Pro and see how these two phones basically compare. Now, it's been a couple of weeks now, and both these phones have basically kind of solidified themselves in their own corresponding areas. And here's the thing between both these particular, phones. The 17 is a very good value, where the 17 Pro is the best iPhone Apple's ever made. Now, the 17 I don't think is like the best value of all time. I don't think it's even the best iPhone value of all time, but it's a very good phone. For $800, I think Apple did a really good job with this device. With the iPhone 17 Pro, this is the best iPhone you can basically get your hands on, but it is about $1,100. So that one is going to be slightly different than something like an iPhone 17. So let's go and take a look at it on the outside of both of them. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these particular phones, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular devices. The iPhone 17, is a brand new iPhone just like the 17 Pro, and it is a slightly different type of device. So with the iPhone 17, this one is going to be giving you a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now, this type of phone and this type of panel, it's a very, very good type of phone, and I'm very happy with the way Apple went through and approached this particular device. Now, with something like an iPhone 17, this panel on the front side I think is a very good size, 6.3 inches, ProMotion, Super Retina XDR OLED display. It really is a very solid panel for the most part, and I do think that in and of itself, that is kind of a nice thing going on for this type of device when it kind of comes down to it. So from that side, I definitely do like the way the iPhone 17 looks and feels and everything like that, and it is a really good type of phone when it kind of comes down to it. The iPhone 17 Pro, this one is going to be giving you a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this one is going to be it's going to be basically the same thing. It's going to be giving you an LTPO display on this one, so the technology is slightly better, but it's not really going to be like that crazy big of a deal if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, with something like the iPhone 17 Pro, this one's still maintaining an always-on display, ProMotion display, everything like that is basically the same thing here. So there isn't even really that big of a difference when it comes down to these devices from that particular side as well. So it's essentially almost the same thing from that side. They're both giving you USB Type-C ports on the bottom, which is great. They're both able to basically go through and give you, very good refresh rates. They're both able to give you really good build qualities. The iPhone 17 is built out of aluminum. The iPhone 17 Pro is an aluminum unibody. So there is a slight difference between the two. They're both going to be relatively around the same again, but you might be getting a little bit better, somewhat better, interesting type of capability on that type of device on the iPhone 17 Pro. But again, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is just going to be a slight difference for the most part. Now, I am a big fan of the way these two devices look because they both look and feel very, very good. They're very premium type of devices. They both feel very good in the hand. And if I'm about to go through and pick up a device, I'm definitely looking at something like an iPhone 17 Pro as giving me a really good feeling type of phone. That triple camera setup, that layout on the back, everything about that phone makes me feel like it's very good. But I will say the iPhone 17 really isn't that far off, and that type of device still gives me like a pretty good type of experience with, from a lot of perspective that I'd probably take a look at it from that side. So I will say from that particular situation, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. Now, on top of that, I think another really important thing too are basically the price tags. The iPhone, 17 right now is going to cost you, give or take, roughly around, it's not going to be that expensive, right? That type of device is going to be significantly cheaper. It's about to be $800, which is still pretty expensive. But the 17 Pro is going to be significantly more expensive at around $1,100. So if you're trying to get the device that is going to be a little bit cheaper here, then it might, again, make more sense to go through and buy a device like an iPhone 17 Pro that might end up being a little bit of a better type of, value per dollar for the most part. Again, it isn't the biggest deal in the world, but that could just end up being another one of those types of things that you might end up running into. So from that particular side too, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, I do think another really important aspect of these things are basically their cameras. So the cameras of these types of devices still are actually not bad. Obviously there's some of the best cameras you can buy. The iPhone 17 is giving you a dual camera setup. The 17 Pro is going to be able to go through and give you this triple camera setup. So there are going to be some slight differences here and there on these types of watches, and depending on how you take a look at it again, it is going to be either a big deal for you or it's going to be a small deal for you. But I feel like with both these types of devices, you're actually getting a really solid type of experience. And that right there, I think, is a nice thing. They're both able to do 4K at 60 on the front and the back. but the iPhone 17 is able to, the 17 Pro is able to do 4K at 120 on the back. So that might end up being a bigger deal or a big disadvantage or an advantage depending on how you take a look at it. But I know for me personally, these types of devices still do a really good job for a lot of things that, kind of recommend thinking about. So these types of devices are very good. Their cameras are solid. They're giving you center stage capability. They're giving you a lot of really cool things here and there. So I will definitely tell you, in my personal opinion, these are very good sensors. There's some of the still the best sensors you can buy. And like I said before, if you're in the market and you're trying to go through and pick up a device, these things are very, very good sensors for sure. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up there. Now, in terms of software longevity, this is also going to be another big thing to keep in mind here. Both of these devices are still basically supported with software, and they're going to be supported with software for many, many years now. So it's not like tomorrow or next year they're going to be done. These things are just getting started with software updates. So that's always a nice thing to have here. And if you're trying to go through and pick up a device, you're definitely going to be able to get a really good, capable device from both of these. They're both going to be very strong. They're both going to be able to give you a ton of capability. And I think that's something that's really nice here for the most part. Now, if you have all the money in the world, then clearly go for the 17 Pro because that's going to be a better phone. But the 17 is still going to be giving you very similar amount of software updates compared to some of these other phones too. So it's always a nice thing to have there. When it comes down to their battery life, the 17 Pro is stated to be giving you better battery life. And from my test, that is kind of the one thing that I did notice. The 17 Pro is going to be slightly better, but it's not really going to be even that big of a deal. It's going to be like a slight difference. But if you are wanting the better battery life, then clearly you can go for something like an iPhone 17 Pro when it kind of comes down to it. Now, on top of that, I think another really important aspect of this too is the fact that between these types of devices, you're still able to go through and get a really good, capable device between these. So with something like the iPhone 17 Pro, this one's giving you the A19 Pro chipset inside with 12 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 17 is going to be giving you the A19 chipset with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So from this case too, if you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you better type of capability, better type of, performance, the 17 Pro, again, is going to be the one that is going to be giving you that better type of experience from that side. I don't really think it's going to be the biggest deal in the world, and I still feel like these types of phones are still going to be giving you a really good type of performance chipset. But, it's kind of up to you how you take a look at it. I still feel like these types of phones are very solid, and it is kind of just up to you at the end of the day on which one you kind of want to pick up. But the thing I'll tell you between both these phones is that they're both very good options. You can't really go wrong with either one. Like I said before, if you do have all the money in the world and it's not an issue, then just buy something like an iPhone 17 Pro. That's a really good phone that's going to be very solid. And it is going to be the one at the end of the day that's going to be giving you kind of an overall better type of experience there, right? That's the type of one that I'd look at. And that's the one that would make a lot more sense for me to recommend to people. But I look at something like an iPhone 17, the standard one, and I feel like that's a really good type of phone, right? That one's going to be giving you a really good type of capability. It's going to be so good. It's going to be amazing. And that's the one that I would probably recommend a vast majority of people to go ahead and kind of buy for the most part. So it's kind of up to you, but from a dollar per value perspective, the iPhone 17 might be the better option for you. Where I feel like where something like the iPhone 17 Pro is the better iPhone. But there's a lot of iPhones that you can also buy, like an iPhone 16 Pro, I think is a very good deal, very good option as well. And an iPhone 15 Pro is an amazing deal as well. So it's up to you, but that's kind of how I see these devices kind of holding up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.